The Vanishing at 1717 East Delmar, June 6, 1992, Springfield, Missouri. The air is thick with humidity and the buzzing excitement of graduation night. It's a milestone, a gateway to adulthood for hundreds of teenagers at Kickapoo High School. The night is supposed to be about freedom, nostalgia, and looking forward. But by the time the sun rose on June 7th, the celebration had curdled into one of the most baffling, frustrating, and haunting mysteries in modern American history. 3 women, a mother, her daughter, and the daughter's friend, didn't just disappear. It was as if they were surgically removed from time itself. They vanished from a locked house, leaving behind their money, their cars, and a scene so eerily undisturbed that it chills detectives to this day. To understand the tragedy, we need to know who we lost. At the center is Cheryl Levitt. At 47, she was a resilient, hardworking single mother. She was a noted local cosmetologist, known for her sharp wit and deep devotion to her daughter. They lived at 1717 East Delmar Street, a modest, well-kept ranch house in a quiet, central Springfield neighborhood. Her daughter was 19-year-old Suzanne "Susie" Streeter. Susie was vibrant, sometimes headstrong, with a wide circle of friends. She had big dreams of becoming a hairdresser like her mom. And finally, Stacy McCall. At 18, Stacy was the classic all-American girl, conscientious, responsible, and beloved by everyone. She had plans to attend Southwest Missouri State University in the fall. The timeline of that night is crucial. It starts at the Kickapoo High School graduation ceremony. Susie and Stacy cross the stage in their caps and gowns. It's a night of pure joy. After the ceremony, the party hopping begins. The girls go their separate ways for dinner with families, then reunite. Around 8:30 p.m., they head to a graduation party at a friend's house. They are seen laughing, socializing, just being normal teenagers. The plan was originally for the girls to spend the night at a friend's house in nearby Battlefield, Missouri, and then head to a water park the next day. But as the night winds down around 2:00 a.m. on June 7th, plans change. The Battlefield house is too crowded. Susie and Stacy make a fateful decision. They decide to go back to Susie's house on East Delmar to sleep. Stacy calls her mother, Janice McCall, to let her know the change of plans. It's the last time Janice will ever speak to her daughter. At approximately 2:15 a.m., witnesses see Susie and Stacy leave the final party in separate cars, Susie in her red Ford Escort, Stacy in her Toyota Corolla. They head toward East Delmar. Meanwhile, Cheryl Levitt is already home. She had spent the evening refinishing a chest of drawers and talking on the phone with a friend until about 11:15 p.m. She's likely asleep when the girls arrive sometime around 2:30 a.m. Around 8:00 a.m., June 7th, friends of Susie and Stacy start calling the house to coordinate the trip to the water park. No answer. By 9:00 a.m., the first friends arrive at 1717 East Delmar. They find the front door unlocked. They walk inside and the scene is confusingly normal. The house isn't tossed. There are no signs of a violent struggle. No blood, no overturned furniture. But there are immediate, jarring anomalies. The family dog, a small Yorkshire Terrier named Cinnamon, is running around in a state of extreme agitation. In Susie's room, the bed looks slept in. In Cheryl's room, the bed is also rumpled. But the most chilling detail, the one that sticks with everyone, is found near the bedrooms. All 3 women's purses are lined up in a neat row on the floor near the steps to the sunken living room. Think about that. 3 women leave a house, voluntarily or involuntarily, and they leave behind their identification, their money, their keys, and their cigarettes. Stacy's clothes from the night before, her shorts and shirt, are neatly folded. The TV is on, tuned to static. The friends, young and naive to the gravity of the situation, actually clean up the broken glass from the porch light, inadvertently contaminating the prime crime scene. They just think the girls left early. But as the hours tick by and nobody hears from Cheryl, Susie, or Stacy, panic sets in. By that afternoon, Janice McCall, Stacy's mother, arrives at the house. She knows instantly that something is terribly, terribly wrong. She calls the police. The initial assessment is baffling. How do 3 adults get taken out of a house in a densely populated neighborhood without a scream, a gunshot, or a neighbor seeing anything? The broken porch light globe becomes central evidence. It wasn't just broken. It appeared to have been unscrewed, placed on the porch, and then shattered, suggesting premeditation. Someone wanted the entrance dark. Police dust for prints. They canvass the neighborhood. They find nothing concrete. It's as if a UFO hovered over the house and beamed them up. A crucial lead comes in early. Several witnesses report seeing a beat-up, greenish-gray 1960s or 70s Dodge van in the area of East Del Mar that morning. Some say it was parked near the house. Others say it was driven by a man looking suspicious. Despite thousands of leads, that van and its driver have never been identified. Over the decades, the file on the Springfield 3 has grown massive, filled with false leads and terrifying possibilities. A few names, however, rise to the top. First, there is Robert Craig Cox. In 1992, Cox was living in Springfield and working nearby. He is a convicted kidnapper and is currently serving life in Texas for a separate murder. Years after the disappearance, Cox told journalists that he knew the women were dead and knew where they were buried, claiming their bodies would never be found. However, he has constantly toyed with investigators, offering cryptic clues but never a confession. He remains a prime person of interest. Then there was Gerald Carnahan, a local businessman with a violent reputation. He was known to hang around areas where teenagers congregated. While he was investigated early on, nothing physically linked him to the Del Mar house. Carnahan was later convicted of the brutal 1985 murder of Jackie Johns, proving he was capable of extreme violence against young women. He died in prison. The police also looked closely at the immediate circle. Susie's ex-boyfriends and male friends were grilled. One theory was that this was a personal vendetta against Susie or Cheryl that spiraled out of control, and Stacy was just tragic collateral damage in the wrong place at the wrong time. But these leads dried up. Everyone in their inner circle seemed to have an alibi. The prevailing theory is an abduction by a stranger or slight acquaintance. Perhaps someone followed the girls home from the parties, saw them enter the house, and seized the opportunity. The fact that Cheryl was likely taken from her bed while the girls might have still been awake suggests a blitz attack. Did the perpetrator use a weapon to gain immediate control? Did he have an accomplice? Controlling 3 terrified women simultaneously is incredibly difficult for one person. Another haunting theory involves the psychology of the scene. The purses lined up. The folded clothes. Was the attacker meticulously organized? Was he making them get dressed to leave? The lack of a struggle suggests coercion. Come with me quietly, or I'll hurt the others. It's a terrifying dynamic that might explain the silence of that night. Janice McCall became a tireless advocate for missing persons, founding the One Missing Link organization, ensuring that even if Stacy never came home, her disappearance would help others. The house on East Del Mar still stands. The neighborhood remains quiet, but the shadow of June 7, 1992, hangs heavy over Springfield. Someone out there knows what happened. Someone knows where Cheryl, Susie, and Stacy are resting. Until that silence is broken, the Springfield 3 remain frozen in time, forever preparing for a future that was stolen in the dark. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Cheryl Levitt, Susie Streeter, and Stacy McCall, please contact the Springfield Police Department.